Despite the fact that we did not get a reveal trailer for a new Doom or Quake game, some people in the community seem to believe that an upcoming id Software title was discreetly teased at the end of a recent Xbox game showcase. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory at first, but I did some digging and now I'm very confident that this is genuinely a hint towards an upcoming project. There's surprisingly some big evidence from over a year ago that supports this quite a bit, so I'm definitely excited to get into this. Just try to bear with me at first though, I swear it'll start to make sense. So, what am I talking about? Well, at the end of the showcase, head of Xbox Phil Spencer came out to give a few parting words and transition into the Starfield gameplay deep dive. While on stage, Spencer was very noticeably wearing an eye-catching shirt featuring the box art of the 90s FPS game, Hexen. This may not mean anything at first glance, but this is actually something Spencer has done in the past as a way to tease upcoming projects. As an example, he once wore a shirt with the new Battletoads logo on it to a Microsoft conference when a new Battletoads game was announced. Another good example is when the Xbox Series S was sitting on a shelf in the background of an interview months before the console was officially revealed. Things like this aren't entirely out of the ordinary. To add on to this, the Xbox Game Studios boss was later asked if he knew if a shirt meant anything, and his reply was, "I may or may not," which is a very vague reply in place of what could have been a simple no. With all of that in mind, it's almost safe to say the Spencer shirt is a direct hint, as crazy as it sounds. But even if this is a teaser for a new Hexen, what does this have to do with id Software? For those of you that aren't aware, Hexen, the follow-up to Heretic, is a fantasy FPS created by Raven Software and published by id Software on October 10th, 1995. The Hexen brand has been pretty much dormant since 1998, likely due to the fact that Raven Software has been stuck making Call of Duty content in the years since. It does seem like id Software still owns the publishing rights to the franchise, but they apparently can't make their own Heretic or Hexen due to a contract that prohibits this. I couldn't find very much information on the contract while researching, and I'm not sure if it's still active, so don't take that claim too seriously. Even if it was true, it may not even matter, because there's a twist. If a new Hexen is in development, it's incredibly likely that Raven Software has some heavy involvement in the project. As surprising as that sounds, Phil Spencer actually directly mentioned Hexen while talking about franchises he'd like to bring back once the Activision Blizzard deal is sealed. This quote comes from an interview with the Washington Post back in January of 2022, and while a good amount of trouble has prevented the acquisition from going through in the time since, it's likely that Spencer is confident that the deal is close to completion. Microsoft and Activision seem to be partnering up quite a lot even without the fully completed merger, so it's entirely likely that the development on a new Hexen has already started despite the deal's uncertainty. Going under the very plausible assumption that Spencer's shirt does mean something, we have three possible scenarios. Either id Software is currently working on a new Hexen, Raven is currently working on a new Hexen, or they've teamed up once again to bring back another beloved 90s FPS. While any of these options are plausible, it's important to remember that id Software started working on their next project before Microsoft attempted to finalize the Activision deal, so Raven is likely the main developer on this project. That's not to say that id Software doesn't have some hand in the development, it's just incredibly unlikely that they're working on this alone. Raven will likely use the id Tech engine and id Software's outsourcing resources, but that may be as far as its involvement goes in the project. I'm personally hoping to see a new Quake game come from id Software, but who knows what we'll get. I just know that I'm not too familiar with Heretic or Hexen, and I would rather see them tackle something they actually made before trying their hand at someone else's franchise. Regardless, a new Hexen would definitely be cool to see. What do you think about all of this? Is this all a bunch of nonsense, or are we finally getting a new Hexen? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to leave a like on my video and subscribe for more Doom content. You'll get to stay entertained and I'll get your support. It's pretty much a win-win for both of us. You can find links to my Discord server and merch store down in the description as well if you're interested. You should totally check those out. Anyways though, I think that's all I have for today's video, so thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.